So we're just going to call you by your first name, if that's all right with you. So everybody can find you on Instagram at Hellglazer, but you go by Ross. First and foremost, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. This is kind of going to be our first introduction to how we're going to be doing guest episodes, as well as a full introduction to yourself and an introduction to how and why we do things so differently here on this podcast and why we're so excited to have people on. So
Hello.
first and foremost, any of our guests like yourself, we give the honorary title of Voxcaster to. And on our website, we have dedicated an entire section to all of our guests. So Ross has provided us with an
Yep.
entire biography write-out. And we have posted that, and that will be live along with this episode
Yes,
on our
that's right.
website. So if you would like to read more about Ross, more than what we've just discussed here, please head on over to our website, and there's a full biography on him.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And I think this is the first podcast I've ever done, by the way. So this is new ground for me. So I'm a bit out of my depth, I suppose.
We're here, man. You've literally just spent a day teaching, and now you're going to tell me a podcast is out of your depth.
Yeah, it's that socially awkward type thing. Even at the teaching thing the other night, I was a bit like, "Oh, this is weird. Like having
Yeah,
to explain what I do is it's new. I'll get there in the end. I'm sure.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure I'll
with you
get
on
the
that. I always
experience.
have that. I always have that same thing at work sometimes when someone's like, "Oh, you paint models," and I'm like, "Yeah, like not the not like Instagram type, but like just tiny ones that are about 40 mil big." It's like- and yes, I dedicate like 20 hours of my life to finish one just to put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
People often ask me, how long should I be spending doing a miniature? They say, oh, I've spent, 20, 40 hours on it, and I feel like, that's too much time. And it's like, spend as long as you need. If it
Yeah,
looks good, if it looks good in the end, you've spent enough time on it. So there's no
literally
right or
that.
wrong answer for it.
I think that's always been my biggest bugbear, mate, is I literally will spend maybe 12 to 15 hours on a model and I'll be like, I can't look at it anymore. And it's not finished. So then I'll do like an hour push where I'll just like dot some metallics, get stuff done. I'll be like, oh, that'll do. And I always end up gutted. I'm like, I should have just
Yeah.
spent an extra 15 hours. And like, if it's took me an extra week of just doing a couple of hours a night and getting it
Yeah.
sorted, then it'd be beautiful. But I think that's where you've definitely got a lot more patience. I know, like with the name Hellglazer, like your glazes
Yeah.
are impeccable. Like your
Yeah.
deathlit nights are insane. And yeah, it's a big thing. So for me, how did you get into the whole? Because when we all joined the hobby, we got the Warhammer store, you got a friend, and we ended up with like just a one-off miniature. How did you go from that to then going, I like the box art that much that I'm going to become absolutely top-notch at glazing?
So, I guess my story kind of started like everybody else's, really. A young kid. I was running about third edition for me, and
Okay.
my dad had bought me the third edition box set for Christmas back in 97, 98, I think it was.
All right.
Like most people, I spent a couple of years just painting, and I was into Airfix models and all that stuff as well. So I guess, long story short, I drifted away from it. Then I ended up after uni, I got back into it for a little while, and I started to see some progress. And how I was painting, I thought I'm getting okay at this, I think. So part of the thing that I do in life is when I start to get good at something, I slow down at it, and then I ended up stopping altogether for a good couple of years. So
Yeah, no, it's
just
fair, man. It's life, innit? That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And then just before the pandemic, me and my fiance, we moved into this flat that we're in now in Glasgow. And for Valentine's Day, I'd wanted a box of just Primaris intercessors, and I thought I'm just going to start again and see how I got on with it. And
Yeah.
ever since then, I kind of stuck with it. So there was one day I was just sitting in my living room, and I was looking at my comics on the shelf, and I had the first issue of Hellblazer,
All right.
the John Constantine comic, and I was looking at it. I thought, I need to start an Instagram. What will I call myself? I thought Hellblazer's a cool name, but it's already taken. So I thought, oh, wait, glazing's a thing. I should call myself Hellglazer. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I better be damn good at it. So I kind of signed myself up for a lifelong punishment of learning how to glaze and do it correctly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you better be damn sure that you're good at something if you're going to label yourself as that thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just made sure to try and make it the thing that I'm known for. And I guess that's kind of how I ended up
Yeah. No,
becoming that person. So, and yeah, I still don't profess to be the best at it. I'm by no means the best at it, but
Like,
I
man,
guess
you
it's
do.
well,
I think you're definitely on par with the heavy artists who do it. Like when I look at box art and then I look at yours, there is literally little to no difference. So you're definitely up
thank
there
you.
for that talent level. Absolutely.
Takes time. It takes time certainly, but I'm happy with the results that I get. 9 times out of 10. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's the main thing. So when you came back, so third edition, if I'm not remembering this, was that the Templars versus?
Dark
Yes.
Elder.
So that was my first box as well, where it had the little scenery where you had like the corner feet,
Yeah.
and yeah, when the Dark
Yep.
Elder were like absolutely horrific to put together because they were pure spikiness and tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there were a few injuries putting those together as well.
Yeah, not wrong at all. Not at all. Because yeah, that was like one of my first where I was in the shop and someone from GW was there like back in like a way town in West Yorkshire. And he just gave me like one of the new Chaos models. Do you remember when the first new Warriors came out with like the big fur cloaks?
Yeah, vaguely. I vaguely
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
And he just gave me one of them. And I'm like, this is a secret. I shouldn't have give you this. And I was young and stupid and just put silver paint all over it. I was like, there we go,
Excellent.
it's done. So
Excellent.
what I have noticed, literally from following you for like early days, you've gone okay, then you've gone back to AOS, done some absolutely
Mm.
phenomenal pieces of AOS, and then you've gone back to 40k. What
Hmm.
caused the sachet? Was it just exploration of like design and wanting to glaze in different ways, or was it literally that you just wanted to have a bit of a break from power armor? Is there?
I think I wanted to move away from just painting Space Marines all the time and just try and, I guess, branch out a little bit. So I can't remember when I made that transition over to AOS to try and start, exploring different sculpts and whatnot. But I know that I ended up with it was a spearhead, I think. Was it a spearhead that I bought? I can't quite remember. But anyway, I ended up with a spearhead full of Stormcast,
All right, yeah.
and I kind of speed painted the majority of them. But I spent a lot more time on the big sort of character piece there. So it was the Griffin guy. I can't remember what it's called.
It was riding like a griffin with the tail that had like the flame on the end.
Yeah, yeah, that's terrible. I should remember what that's called. But I spent weeks doing that thing. And I'd never really done big volumes before, so that was kind of new. And I just sort of took what I had applied in the past to other things and put it onto that. And there was a lot of back and forth to try and get it to look right,
Yeah,
because it's never linear when it comes to painting to that sort of level.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I still have an unfinished AOS Golden Demon piece,
Yeah.
which is still in the works. You'll see him on my Instagram. What's he called? The big Birdman, Kairos Fate Weaver.
Oh, all right. So you're going.
So
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Not for this demon coming up, but it'll probably be for GD 26.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Adepticon though.
Oh, I was gonna say because I'm going to Adepticon and so it's Max this year. So I was gonna say if so,
Okay.
we'd be having over there with you. But yeah, nice. Okay. So because what I was gonna say is like your Stormcast, you just said speed painted, but
Hmm.
like some of the metallic work you did on them was insane. So did you go for like a pure true metallic metal style with those alongside a speed
Yeah.
paint? Like, and that's just
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
just
pretty much.
yeah,
So, I mean, for those Stormcasts, for the kind of rank and file guys, I airbrushed a few different golds in sort of sequential layers to bring up the brightness, and I think I just used a contrast paint over the top of it, just
all
in one
right.
or two really thin layers, and
Just to give
that
it
was
that
it.
depth and then perception of like that pectoral area as well, especially on Stormcast, is like the most key area. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah,
nice.
absolutely, yeah. And I guess everyone's version of speed paint is slightly different. So for mine, I'll still maybe spend 2 or 3 hours per model on a speed. That's what I call a speed paint, at least.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, others might find that to be a bit long
yeah.
for a
No,
speed
no,
paint. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm with you on that. Like I was saying to Max, he's big on like army paint and speed paints. While I go, as you've seen, like on mine, I will quite happily, as I said, like sit there for hours painting like one armor panel. I'm not bothered. But it's something I've never even experimented with. Like I think I've got like a yellow contrast paint for Imperial Fist, and I've got maybe the Gilliman flesh tone, just for that gold to give it that nice humane sort of hue of the
yeah,
warmth. Never touched the contrast paint, never touched speed paint, and it's horrifying for me when I see people do it like on Instagram, I just bump and I'm like, that's terrifying.
yeah, yeah. It can be pretty daunting, especially going from display level to something else. You're like, this
Yeah.
feels so alien.
Literally that. It's getting used to that thing in projects. Like I've just started a Drukari project of Incubi, And going from a power armored leg, which is like half the size of that body, to painting a leg that's so delicate, I'm like, it's such a
Yeah,
differential that it's so hard to gauge where I'm going with it.
definitely.
So touching on bits you've done, one thing that I wanted to ask you personal, you saw that I did an Iron Jaw recently. You did that
Mm,
Orc Shaman, skin tones, and being at
yeah.
that level of painting. Like, how long and how did you go about it? Because like volumetrically, you've touched on there a little bit. Because that's
Hmm.
what I try to massively. It's such an adjustment from fine lines, triple layered highlights, and dot highlights to
Yeah.
that's a muscle. Like how did you go about that, and how did you manage to change that? Really?
So for the Orc Shaman, I have no shame in saying that I shamelessly copy other people and their methods. I think it's the only way to get better. So
Yeah.
I owe a lot of, or I attribute a lot of how well that came out to Dave Perriman
All right. Okay.
from Infernal Brush.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
know that his Patreon and his YouTube have sort of orc skin tutorials. So I watched those videos to death and just tried to apply exactly what he had done onto that orc shaman. And I tried to take up a notch by just spending as much time as I could on it, just to make it
Yeah.
get to a point where I was happy with it, I guess. And then that was it. But the volumes were tricky. I was quite new to doing like kind of bright green colors and whatnot, so it was definitely new territory. When it came to that smoke plume,
That
Jesus,
terrifies me, mate. You said you used. I
yeah,
looked at that and I was like, how has he done it?
it terrified me as well. And I had no recipe for it. I had no
You just winged it.
idea how it was. I had to wing it. I just had to do it until it looked correct.
I love that though. The fact is, you've just said that, like, you just pulled it entirely off. Like, if you didn't tell me that, I would have thought, like, the guy's literally just looked at the box, gone, I know what colours he's used, and just winged it
Oh,
entirely. There you go.
there was so much back and forth with I think I went through about 3 or 4 sheets of palette paper until I kind of landed on the right color palette, and I went over it again and again and again, and eventually it started to stick.
Yeah,
And yeah, there was no sort of mystery to it. It was just trial and error until it eventually landed.
nice. Okay,
Yeah, and
fair
I
enough.
think it's kind of an important thing to maybe to call out when it comes to painting as well. A lot of people ask, what recipe did you use for doing X, Y, and Z? And I'll always give people the recipe,
Yeah, yeah,
but I think a lot of the times what people miss is how do you apply that recipe and how do you make it look, as good as the box art. I think it comes down more to technique, sort of brush control and paint management rather than blindly following a recipe, which can be good to help build knowledge and
yeah.
understand why you use certain colors. But when it comes into the more nuanced side of how you do it, learning and understanding how you, as I say,
Yeah, like it's a lot of things. It's like Darren there said, didn't he? He said the one thing you want to learn first is your brush control. Doesn't matter if you
yeah,
get
yeah,
£300 worth of perfect paint, you have the perfect brush. Unless you have brush control, you will not get further in this hobby. And that's not a gatekeeping thing. It's just a fact, isn't it? If you don't know how to feather, if you don't know how to do, that triple highlight and keep the width of each layer of paint perfect, then yeah,
yeah,
you won't achieve it. So yes, I do
definitely.
agree.
Too is I think a lot of people, especially like new people, when they join the hobby, they feel like, oh, I need to buy an expensive to be a good painter. When in
Mm,
reality, there's people that have bought dollar store brushes, but their brush control
Yeah,
is so good that they can make a cheap brush be better than a more brush. So
yeah,
it's not always that you
yeah.
need to buy a good tool. You just master the technique with any tool. More so, I'd say,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. And I think it's Sam Lenz is known, or at least he was known. I don't know if he still is or not, but he uses sort of cheap synthetic brushes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
and he's banging out Golden Demon winners with that sort of stuff. So
yeah, exactly that.
yeah, I mean, it's all very well having a fancy sort of, Kolinsky sable brush, and they are fantastic for maintaining a sharp point and doing razor sharp edge highlights. But I guess all down to personal preference. As long as your brush has a good tip and
Yeah.
it does what you need it to do for what you're painting, then that is the correct tool. And yeah, people get bogged down with brush size as well. I mean, I could do my edge highlights with a size 6.
That's funny you mentioned. It's actually funny because I'm known for using, like, I only use mostly a size 2 for almost all my work. And then a friend of mine actually challenged to paint the new Prince Vordry for Age of Sigmar when he came out, that new like beautiful dragon look, the resculpt they did. And I painted that entire model with a size 8, only a size 8. Like
Wow.
and never
Wow.
again, because I can't recall any times that a repaint. It was just a fun project because it really teaches you, like, instead of going smaller, how to control the brush when it's going bigger. Because I feel like a lot of us also focus in on, well, I need to get small, because it's a miniature. But sometimes practicing brush control the other way can also be such a benefit because you learn to stop overpooling, which can be, somebody like myself, I do speed painting. So overpooling with us causes coffee staining and it suddenly turns a good project. I feel like when you can upscale the brush and downscale the brush, that's when you can truly master not just brush control, but paint flow.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for me, it's more of a recent thing to sort of go up in size with my brushes. Maybe over the past 6 months, I've only started experimenting with bigger brushes to see how I get on with it. And I was amazed just about how fine a detail you can still get with a bigger brush. And then I got that confidence to continue using them. So
Yeah,
I find myself going through them a lot more now than I did before.
I just got the confidence to start using like 2 and up. Normally I'm like triple zero, double zero, like as small as I can go.
And you get more. I was going to say you get more time out of using a bigger brush as well. Or you get more working time.
yeah.
Yeah.
You get belly and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
Well, Max and I, we noticed like at Michael's, I don't think they have Michael's in like the UK at all. It's a craft store,
No,
like
I
a
don't think it
craft
is.
hobby store.
We have literally hobbycraft.
That's all we have.
Well, Michael's, it's not bad, but they have some brushes, like they have a lot of brushes there, and you can get like really nice ones for like $4 and under, $3 and under.
That's cool. That's quite cool.
It
You
is.
can stock up them in bulk and just keep them all.
No, actually,
in a
yeah. And
drawer
then I don't
somewhere.
feel bad. Yeah, I don't feel bad like ruining them or going through them.
Now,
No,
Ross,
yeah,
I actually did have a question for you. In your experience, have you ever messed with the brush length? Like, for example, an Artist Opus Series S and an Artist Opus Series F. The only real difference is the length of the bristle, but the shorter bristle keeps a finer point but can hold less paint. Have you ever experimented with bristle length?
Yeah, so I've had a couple of the Winsor & Newton miniature series,
No,
which they're synonymous with the one that you just mentioned,
The Artist?
the Artist Opus.
Yep.
And I had luck with one of them. It worked quite well. But the next one that I got just didn't hold a point at all. It ended up looking like a sort of stubby little piece of crap, and it didn't want to work. So, and they're really expensive as well. So
Yeah, they are.
I decided just to stick with, at the time, Rosemary and Co. And recently, I've been kindly sponsored by Orange Brushes.
Yes.
So I use their products pretty much 95% of the time.
I was just going to ask, because I did see that on your Instagram, what your favorite brush was from their series or one of their series.
Yeah, so for the Orange Brushes, they've been fantastic, to be honest. Their 2.0s are excellent and they last such a long time. And I've generally never had luck with size 0 to size 2. They always die within about a month. And I just, a curse for me. It really is. But with Orange, they seem to last significantly longer.
All right.
They're certainly an up-and-coming brand. And I think they're still in their infancy, as far as I understand. But I would highly recommend.
Yeah, I think they are they're still at that small-ish point, aren't they, where they've got quite a few artists now, but I've heard good things, like, and they did the brush tip, didn't they, about just shampoo your brushes instead of spending a fortune on, like, brush soap, which was controversial as it came out, and people were like, what do you mean I'm going to get the tread from the shower and start doing my brushes? But do you know what? If you use it on your own head, it is a hairbrush. Like, it does make sense. It's one of those things.
I was going to say I'm quite a snob when it comes to certain products, especially with cleaning brushes. So I've got this stuff, if you can get a hold of it. It's called Zest It. I don't know if that's going to zoom or focus.
All right.
Ugh,
Okay.
doing
Let's.
the
Yeah.
influencer.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
So-
your next sponsor now, Ross.
Yeah, but this stuff's great. It pulls paint straight out of the ferrule.
Alright,
Either that or just pure isopropyl works, diluted slightly.
All right. Okay.
But shampoo works as well. Yeah, use that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
cheaper.
keep them happy.
That's what's going to be the next Kickstarter for the hobby is going to be like human hair brushes or something. Like watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
beard hair brushes or something like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine.
So just a very little bit of an off-topic one, not so to bombard you with painting. So Max mentioned this to me. He's asked people before, and it's something I've been asked. We're in the universe of Warhammer. We've got 40k AOS. If you could be anything in that universe or any part of any faction, what would you be and why? I know that sounds like one of those school questions, the and why part, but I'm going with it.
Show your work.
Yeah, I think it would need to be some kind of librarian. I think
Okay.
more so from the Silver Skulls perspective. So earlier I mentioned that I shamelessly copy people. I did copy Darren Latham's Silver Skulls army because I needed to get something out on the table quickly. Their librarians are called prognosticators.
Right. Okay.
It's, I guess prognostication is like to, as far as I understand it, to be the gift of foresight, to be able to sort of see into the future, I guess. So being able to have sort of psyker abilities would be brilliant. Yeah, I think one of the librarians would be good. I think.
Yeah. Fair.
Would you
That
consider
is fair.
joining
So on the topic
joining
of
Grey Knights then?
Maybe not. They're a bit too secretive. A little bit. I'm a bit too egotistical. I think I'd want people to know what I'm doing. Not in a weird narcissistic way. Like if I've got cool abilities, I'd want to show it off and be like, look what I can do.
Yeah, you won't want to just rock up to a planet, tell someone, and then watch them all get wiped out for you telling them.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Just on that whole librarian, so are you strictly painting? Have you ever done the gaming side of things? And or do you entertain yourself with the book side of things with Black Library then? Or is it just like brushes on?
It's been a little bit of everything. 99% of the time it's painting and just trying to constantly improve.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I will sort of jump down to our local hobby place. It's actually a club for army veterans.
Right,
Out of that club, they run the hobby side of things as well. So they do sort of 40k EOS game nights and weekly hobby sessions as well. So I have dabbled in 40k, but I was so terrible at it. I think I've won 2 games in the years that I've been back into the hobby. So
that's
just I couldn't stick to it long enough to get good at it. In terms of the lore, and
did you have fun playing it though?
Yeah, for the most part I did. Even when I lost, it was still quite fun. A lot of the games were quite close, and a couple of the guys at the club are quite into it, so they were, getting in character and making it quite immersive. So
Nice.
I enjoyed that part of it, and I think that it can be quite infectious that as well when someone's that into it.
Yeah.
It just they bring you along on that journey, even though you might hate the army you're playing. You still get into it. But in terms of the lore, yeah, I've read a couple of the books. I read the first few Horus Heresy novels. I think I read I forget what it's called. It was when Gilliman returned. I read that book.
That's the gate. The first one. It's the Dawn of Fire series. There you go.
Yeah. But mostly I listen to stuff on YouTube. So I listen to a lot of Luton. And Voldemort is another really good one.
Yeah.
And there's been a few more AI ones that have popped up that I'll kind of listen to when I'm falling asleep and stuff. But that's kind of how I get my lore fix.
Have you just on the topic of YouTube then, just a slight recommendation for me? So Hell's Reach, have you heard of it before?
Have I? I don't know. It's not ringing any bells.
It was, you see, talking early 2000s, I must have been about 14 years old, and that was the Black Templar's first big novel, where Grimaldus was... Yeah, so it was Armageddon, everything went on, and then I can't remember the animator's name, and I feel like I'm doing them dirty now, but they did it on YouTube, so they got the book, they did like a voiceover for it, and then animated, like hand drew the entirety of the book.
Wow.
And give them absolute credit, it's phenomenal.
Wow.
It's really, really well done.
I'll need to see that.
Pick some lore up. Yeah, like absolutely would recommend it. If you like a little bit of a lore up, because they've done it in parts as well, so you don't have to sit through like a full, it's very, very good. And a nice little bit for a bit of a nod for someone that, appeared in a Black Library book in early thousands, and then when Black
Mm.
Templars got a refresh the other year, finally got a new model, and we're like, hell, what's what's going on here? Like, it's gone from the pages to this. So no, it was
Yeah,
good.
I'll need to check that out. That sounds brilliant. That sounds right up my street.
Yeah, good. So I think other than those little bits there, how else do you entertain yourself then, bud? That's the biggest one for me. So I know that we know all about you painting. I mean, I've seen the occasional story of you pint in hand, but I won't go there.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't mind the odd drink here and there. Although recently I've been kind of moving away from it. The hangovers are just too much in my old age. I'm late 30s now. I'll be 40 next year. So
You will behave. You are not nearly
yeah,
40.
Yay.
yeah. I'm 39.
It's as if I did not
Yeah.
expect that.
No, it's, a lot of people say that. Yeah, just I'm a genetic jackpot winner or something.
Honestly, it's just silver fox, Ross.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the missus likes it. She likes the grey hair that's coming in. So, but no, we when I'm in to be entertained outside of the hobby, me and my fiance, we will go out for dinners and stuff. We like having a cocktail with dinner. Last night we went out it was our 7-year anniversary of being together. We're not
Oh,
married yet.
congratulations.
That is on the cards. So 7 years. So we went to a really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. And we went to a really nice restaurant.
Nice.
We do the silly things in the house, like we watch Beard Meets Food. I don't know if you've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
No.
We watch him, yeah. So he's a British YouTuber, and he basically just eats all the things.
Yes.
So we love watching him. We watch Hannah Ricketts. He does like she does the hotel reviews and all that sort of stuff. So we watch just silly YouTube channels like that. I say silly, they're fantastic YouTube channels.
Yeah, it's fantastic
things like
concept.
that.
It's light-hearted, isn't it? I think is the best way to call it. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Videos where you like just can turn off your brain. You don't have to think. I love them.
Yeah,
exactly
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, if it's not that, it's true crime stuff as well. So we'll watch a lot of that.
Yeah, those on
Emma Kenny and all those people. So yeah,
fair. So just on that topic of cocktails, favorite cocktail then, Ross? I want it on the cards now because as someone who ran a bar and competed for best in the country of cocktails, I want to know.
Nice. Okay, so for me, the best cocktail or the cocktail that I enjoy the most is an old fashioned.
Yes.
But not with bourbon. I prefer it with a dark rum. So Gosling's.
Yeah, like a rum old fashioned. Yeah.
Interesting.
With your demerara sugar burnt down, gives it that sugary kick. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Gosling's 151, I might add.
Okay.
So everyone write that down right now.
A very powerful cocktail.
If I'm at the Glasgow way, I will make you one, which you'll definitely be set on fire with. It's a Bumbu old fashioned. I called it a chocolate old fashioned. So I'd mix the two of them together, Jamaican rums, make a banana syrup, and finish it with chocolate bitters.
That sounds amazing. I'll hold you to that.
Absolutely can. Like wholeheartedly. Creative flavors. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to just do a trip. That's it. I'm just gonna have to do a cocktail trip. But nice. Okay, so you like is it fine dining you go off on then with your other half, or is it just different types of food, or what?
We do a mix. But I'm in a fortunate enough position where we can try and go to more fine dining places if we want. Just as a treat every now and again. Yeah, I try not to just blow money on stuff for the sake of it. But we try and keep it. Maybe once a month we'll go and do something so that it doesn't sort of lose its appeal. We try and keep it special.
Yeah, no, of course. But then again, I just love that comment. I want that in brackets in your bio. Try not to blow money on stuff, and then you look at our hobby.
Yeah. That's true.
I saw your story about the new Terminator box set. You can't give me that. You cannot give me that.
Yeah. Oh, that is getting bought 100%.
Yeah, are you into those that much, the new Terminators?
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice. I mean, they're just Terminators with claws and hammers, but
that's
I've been waiting for them for what 2.5 years now. So yeah, and they'll go nicely in my Deathwing army. So it'll take me about another year to paint that box. So
yeah, that's fair.
Which is fine.
You'll get there. It's fine.
Yeah,
the new
eventually.
Ancient, I will say, looks fantastic. Like, the Ancient has finally got the optic on the helmet, and I'm like, that's all I've wanted off a Terminator helmet for so long. Is
Yeah,
that nice optic detail, not just a standard one, because I feel like we got done dirty. As a Space Wolves collector, the Space Wolves Wolfguard helmets, you look at them, and they're all just identical Terminator helmets, other than the unhelmeted heads, and I'm
yeah,
like, why have you done us like this? Like, you could have done anything with a little bit of Fenrisian runes in them, anything.
exactly.
I just feel like I think it's a bit of a hobby topic at the minute. Is do we feel that they're either going over detailed on everything else, and it's becoming a bit of like, even look at like
Yeah,
rank and file AOS. So as a Cities of Sigmar lover, like, look at your rank and file now. How much detail goes into something that you need 40 of on the tabletop? And as a painter,
yeah,
I love it. I'm
yeah,
thankful that I don't game for that reason, because I can't imagine
yeah.
knocking out 40 at the standard just to do it.
Yeah, I think there needs to be, I guess, a bit of a balance between detail and not detail, I guess.
Yeah, like, even if it's just blank panels, like, you know what I mean? Just designing them the right way to be volumetric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think the detail lends itself nicely to a lot of the other products that are out there. So your washes, your speed paints, your contrast paints, I guess, go hand in hand with that detail. When you're slapping those paints over the top of that, they'll stand out wonderfully against.
Yeah.
When the whole army's done like that, it's going to look really, really nice. But for, I guess, display level painters, it can be a curse and a gift, I guess.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I agree
um,
with that.
personally, I'll try and paint every single detail to the absolute best of my ability, even if you can't see it in the end, because it's practice. Even if it's hidden, it's still practice. But
That's
yeah, I don't mind the detail personally. I like
No,
it.
as I say, like, I don't mind it, don't get me wrong, but if I was building a 120 strong army, I'd be like, I don't think I've got the patience to go through doing
Yeah,
that tiny.
God, you've been doing it until you're 70, or
Yeah, literally that. I'd be like, oh, sorry, which edition are we in now?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, okay, so favorite model of
Oh.
all time then? Oh, sorry, unless Kim's going to ask something.
So, well, I was just gonna say, even just holding, like thinking about holding the brush to do detailed work, like it's hard enough sometimes when I'm trying to paint a tiny little detail with contrast, doing like slap chop, and I'm like, I can't imagine, like the eyes alone,
Oh,
I can't even imagine.
yeah, it can get pretty wild, especially with eyes. Eyes were the bane of my existence for a long time. Yeah, that's where the paint management and brush control really comes into play, and getting that good anchor point where you can just make sure you're
Yeah.
A, not breathing, and B, not shaking. So
Yeah. No
not
caffeine
having 6
morning
cups of coffee before trying to paint eyes. Yeah.
Hunched over in like every like possible position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
agree with
sitting like a prawn.
Yeah. Unravel yourself as you stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
that. Have you tried the Warm Bristle Studios painting handle? Just on the topic of,
Mhm.
yeah. How did you
I
find
have
it?
one.
Yeah, because I bought one, that starter pack, which was like the 2 cork, the little disc, and the 2 conical. Conicals have been invaluable for like head painting.
Yeah.
They've been able to like rotate.
So I jump between that and just cork,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just that you get out of a wine bottle. I do like it because you can sort of rotate it about, like you say, and I use it for bigger things like maybe capes or
Yeah, of course.
just
So you can
sort of
get that
much
angle.
bigger pieces. Yeah,
All
and
right.
I think I'm sure they've got some new stuff coming out as well. I don't know when, but
Is
I
this
think
you hinting that they've sent you it and you're testing it, but I don't know about it yet?
they
'cause it's unannounced.
they haven't sent me anything. I wish they would though. But I'm sure they've got new products in the pipeline.
No, it would be nice because it was a well-made product, to be fair, and it's not exactly like stupidly expensive. 20 quid for 2 cork, 2 conical, and a standard one isn't that bad from them, really.
It's quite good. Yeah. That's they're the best hobby products, the ones that are affordable and awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. It's why I've always been like, I've messaged you before about orange brushes, because I haven't been new. I've always been a bit like, they sponsor our friends. They run the Inquisition podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And like Mega Last Hobbies and people like that who spoke to me, but they don't do your style of painting, which I try to achieve. So it's very much,
Right.
I get that it's all right for a bust at 72 mil, but
Yeah.
unless it comes from, this sounds awful, but unless it comes from someone who paints in an heavy metal style for me, I'm like, I won't necessarily go for that. Do you know what I mean? It's quite
Yeah.
difficult
Yeah, it
to
makes
gauge
sense.
it. Yeah. So
Definitely. And I think I really wanted to try and prove that those kinds of products can get you those results. Yeah.
it's easy to
When
spend
it comes,
money.
Yeah, it's easy to spend loads of money on a Winsor and Newton, and then it's a lottery sometimes with those brushes,
Yeah, it
and you
is.
don't want to spend £25 or however many dollars that converts to, what,
Yeah.
$37 on a brush that might not be that
Might not be
great.
the be
Whereas,
all end all.
yeah, whereas when you've got ostensibly the same product from someone like Orange or Rosemary and Co.
Yeah.
Using the same kind of hair, arguably the same quality, and I guess quality management. But I've had better luck with the less expensive brands. So price doesn't necessarily equal the best.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I came back to the hobby, mate, about it's more than 6 months ago now. It's probably 8 months ago.
Mhm.
And I spoke to 84 Paints, Dan, spoke to yourself.
Yeah.
And you said Rosemary and Co. So I've got some of them. Because funnily enough, their factory is literally about half an hour from where I was brought up. Had no idea until I was like driving past, like, oh, I swear that's Rosemary and Co. I was like,
Excellent.
and then he said Windsor and Newton. So I
Mhm.
got both, and I was like, right, I'm going to try both. But like the fact that I could get like a full set of brushes from Rosemary for probably like 35 to £50, and
Yeah.
for a 0, a 1, and a 2, it's cost me
Mhm.
£78 for Rosemary and
Yeah.
Co for 3 brushes. And don't get me wrong, the 0 for Rosemary for Windsor and Newton, and the 0's been spot on.
Mhm.
The 1 is not that bad, but the 2, as you said, like
Yeah.
literally a month in, I was like, I've literally used brush
It
soap, I've
uploads
cared,
to
I've
the
purged it,
cloud.
yeah, absolute
Tried to do
insanity.
all the things to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my Winsor and Newton size 2 now.
I can see that it looks more square than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's terrifying though, and it's like a £30 brush. It's like,
I
that's
know it's not. It was good for about a week, and it's no shade against them.
no, it happens,
I
doesn't it?
didn't
Yeah.
have the opportunity to inspect the brush before I bought it because it was done online, which is
Yeah.
another gamble. If you can
Good old
inspect your
Amazon.
brush before you buy it, then do it. Absolutely do that.
Yeah, no, agree there. So from me, do you involve yourself in anything else? Are you a big Space Marine 2 fan? Anything like that? Have you tried it? Have you got immersed in that whole extra narrative that we've got going on now? Or
No, so I've not owned a console since I had a PS2.
Christ?
So yeah, and I used to work at Game Station. Remember Game
Yeah,
Station?
I do remember games.
Before Yeah, before it merged with Game and just
Yeah.
became its own thing. And even then, I never bought a new console. I
Oh,
just
okay.
I just enjoyed selling the stuff. But
Right,
no,
if it works, like, yeah.
yeah, I do. I love the look of Space Marine 2. I played the first game when it came out on a friend's console. I never got round to buying more or getting more into sort of gaming.
Yeah.
Worry that it'll take away from time that I could be spent painting.
Yeah, I think it's a very real, like Max, if he's still there with Kim now, we'll vouch for this. So we have this group called Battle Brothers, and we
Mhm.
all play Space Marine 2 together and things like that. But the amount of times it comes to like, I'll finish work or someone finishes work and I'm like, does anyone want a quick game? And it's like, it's that choice between, am I going to finish my Emperor's Children or am I going to jump on and play 2 hours of Space Marine? And it
That's
becomes
it.
it's such a debate then of what should I do with my time more? And it is great.
Always painting for me.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
think it's something that I've got more used to now is I'll be quite content coming upstairs to the office space and just being like, right, I'm going to paint, just to try and push that little bit further. So, if you had like a top 5 tips, Ross, what would you give
Mhm.
someone if they're coming to the hobby and they want to get to results? Because I'm not going to say if they want results like yours, because we all know that it's years, isn't it? It's practice. It's everything else. If you could,
Yeah.
or like, so what I'll say then is like top 5 items they should have, and then like a top 5 techniques they should do or tips to do. What would they
Okay.
be really?
So I think when it comes to things that you should own, I would say try and steer clear of gear acquisition syndrome. Do you know what I mean? So don't buy all the gimmicky things for the sake of it. So obviously you'll need your paints.
Yep.
A decent brush. I would always say at least one sable hair brush for fine details if that's the direction you want to go in. A brush soap.
Yeah.
Because you need to clean your brushes. If you don't maintain your equipment, ultimately it will fail eventually. So it still needs to be maintained like anything else. And I think because it's quite a broad thing.
It is. That's always my issue. Is like if someone asked me, at work and
Yeah.
said like, "What do I need to get into it?" I'd be like, "I don't think I could give you." like, maybe I'll just take you shopping.
Yeah, I think another thing as well that people they don't overlook it, but it's something that not everyone has is a wet palette.
Yeah.
Now, even after every paint session, I won't go back to use the same paints. I'll get rid of that paint from that session and just put in a new bit of paper. For me, all it does is keep the paint alive for a
Yeah.
session for longer, rather than just using something like a dry palette where the paint it'll die so quickly.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to get into more detailed stuff, having a set of magnifiers is excellent.
I've heard this that it's game
Yeah.
changing. Like, and like, I've got my prescription lenses which are like +3, which is why I'm like, I swear this is like magnifying anyway. But I'm like, I've never fully invested in it because it's the whole glass. Yeah, it's the light and everything, isn't it? But I have heard very,
Yeah.
very good things.
So I tend to not use the light that's inbuilt on the magnifiers, but I do use the highest setting, not
Yeah,
setting, the highest thing that's on them. So 3.5 times magnification. It does mean you just kind of have to paint sort of quite close to you, but as a game changer, I've got 20/20 vision, so I don't
You don't
need
struggle
them.
like at all. Yeah.
But I find that I get significantly better results by being able to get really close. So
Okay.
I find
definitely
they're
recommend.
I find they're great when you're not moving, like when you're just focused in on one spot. Because I have
Yeah.
some as well, because I also diamond paint on the side.
Cool. Nice.
But yeah, I find as soon as I start moving, it's almost like everything is blurry and out of focus. I almost get motion sickness from it, but it might just be my eyes and not everyone
I think,
else.
yeah, I think they take a bit of getting used to, certainly. I do struggle to paint without them sometimes. But yeah, I think the more you get used to them, the easier it becomes. And I've kind of developed a way of sort of being able to look under them to see other
Mm.
things that aren't magnified. So
Yeah.
whenever my fiance comes in the room, I'm just kind of like looking like a weirdo, like, what do you want?
You need to have hobby sessions just to practice that. It's not even just brush control now.
Yeah.
It's just glasses control.
That's it. Yeah. Finding a way to work around them. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, I think those are the main sort of tools that I would say in terms of other. Yes, for 5 other tips.
Yeah, like 5.
To-
What would be like the 5 tips
Yeah.
to say to someone like these are your repetitive or skills to learn in which
Yeah.
like brushwork I know will be number 1 there, like brush control.
Mhm.
Well, not necessarily, but it is one of them.
Okay.
The biggest thing I would say to someone is give yourself a damn break. Like, you're
Yeah.
not going to get good overnight. Don't compare yourself to other people. Like, I know that I was guilty of this at the start, as I would look at, it was always Darren Latham's work at the start because he was like the main guy.
He was
Everyone would
the
want to.
absolute bomb, mate.
Yeah, and he still is for sure. He's still, phenomenal painter. But you would look at his work and go, why does mine not look like that? What am I doing wrong? And
Yeah.
easily be discouraged. So I think people definitely need to give themselves a break and just understand that it's gonna take a little bit of time, but with more reps, you're gonna get good.
Yeah, it's literally like the
time.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more you repeat it, the stronger.
Definitely. You go through that pain, and one day you'll look at your model and go, I'm actually getting quite close to, replicating something that's on the box. And it just eventually you'll get there and go, you'll look at a box art and go, I reckon I can improve that, and that. And then before you know it, you're looking at box art thinking, I could do that. That's easy.
That's you with the Deathwing Knights now. Like the amount of them I've seen, I'm like, yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I've spent too long on it.
What some of us need to do too is actually go on our own Instagrams and scroll all the way back on our own page, not on other people's page. Because normally, if you go back to some of your first posts and then you look at how you were posting stuff then and even how it looked and your shots and angles and lighting even, and now you compare it to stuff you're probably doing now, you're gonna sit there and go, okay, like
Yeah,
this is clear evidence. Like I've made improvement, right? And sometimes people just need to
definitely.
take victory in the baby steps, not the big steps. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
even reduce your painting time down by like 10 minutes and it's the same process, that's a huge improvement. In my
it is.
opinion,
Yeah.
that's a huge deal.
Definitely. You've hit the nail on the head. You should only be comparing yourself to yourself. I know the other day, I was looking at some of the older Silver Skulls stuff that I'd painted, and some parts were just so janky. Like, I was like, why didn't I fix this? I can go back and like varnish over stuff, but I like to not go back and correct things
So you have
from
that.
older models.
Yeah.
So that's locked in time. I
Yeah.
can always go back and compare to something before. I think seek out a mentor. Seek someone that you can compare yourself to. Not compare yourself. Sorry, I'm talking rubbish. Seek out someone that you can bounce ideas off of. You can
Yes.
send pictures to. You can message them and say, you know, how did you do such and such.
Yeah.
For me, it's been people like, I didn't message Darren Latham that often. I was too scared, but I've sent him some miniatures before and I said, can you give me a bit of feedback on that? Dave Perryman, Aaron Clark are a couple of guys that more Aaron recently, but we'll sort of chat on his live stream and whatnot, and just try and copy what other people are doing. Essentially, I think that's the way I've found to get better. Is find something that you like and copy it until you think it's of the same standard.
I did it, no shame here, with your Dark Angel. Like when I came back, like I remember messaging you and being like, "How did you do this? How did you do this?" And just it's one of those things because I was like, I want to come back and I want to do what I want this time, not just knock out as many minutes as possible. So it was just you and, as I say, Den, both your brains, like you both paint that style, pick them, and it's nice enough in our community that you guys are open to it. I think not many people realize it, I don't think, is that, like, if anyone messaged me, you, Max, anyone, we'd all reply.
100%.
It doesn't matter. We would reply and we'd say, like, look, this is what I've done. But it's took me X, Y, and Z to get to that point. Yeah,
definitely. It's good to actually reply to people because it makes you need to be approachable. Otherwise, people are going to think you're an arse.
Yeah.
Well, and I think to touch on your point with a mentor, I think a key point of finding a good mentor is finding somebody who will be honest with you and not tell you what you want to hear. Because sometimes the things you want to hear are not the things that will improve you or to take you to the next step. Whereas sometimes you need to have a little bit of that criticism and that bit of harshness in there to say, look, this and this is great. Over here, let's focus in on this bit. And you can, maybe if you tried this, maybe changed a little bit here, whatever it is. But sometimes being a little bit more realistic with the person instead of just telling them like, yeah, it looks great. Yeah, this is great. You're improving. Awesome. I think it's always great to encourage people, but I'm always pro like one encouragement for one almost criticism. And that doesn't mean you have to be harsh with the criticism, but it could just be like, hey, maybe this is something that next time you focus in a little more on, or I noticed that this is a little better, but over here, this could have also been improved a touch here. So I think having a good mentor is somebody that is just very real with you, but also understands what you're trying to achieve. And it's finding that halfway point of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
100%. Yeah.
I've shamelessly messaged people as well. Trust me. Hey, how did you do this? How did you even get this color? I've mixed 7 different paints. I can't get anywhere close to this, And I think the point that you said where it's just replying is, the whole reason we actually kind of wanted to start this is to show a lot of the new people in the community, like Kim has just joined the hobby this year. It's that, some of these pages that do have some of the best artwork we've seen and do have, regardless of the following count, just message them and just start a discourse with people. And some of these people, they want to have a chat with others because, they can see how they are now impacting other people. And to a lot of us, that's all really we want to do in life is just to help others.
I just feel appreciated.
Definitely.
Yeah, that too.
100%. Yeah. I think being open and honest with your feedback, it's difficult to do at first. I think I've found it difficult to critique people's work when they've asked, because I don't want to sound harsh. So I probably have been guilty in my early days of giving feedback. Maybe being a bit too, it looks really good. Whereas in actual fact, there were maybe some bits where I could have been a bit more honest and said, like, you can touch up this, that, and the next thing. So I'm more comfortable doing that now than I certainly was in the past. You'll definitely get honesty from me more now. Certainly, I want to continue to do that because I'll be judging a competition soon. Near where we are, there's a local paint competition. So me and a few other sort of good higher level painters will be judging that. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm trying to think other tips that I would give people.
Sorry, really fast. Just as a newbie, I guess, freshly, someone who was looking for tips. One thing I will say when I first started painting was getting comfortable with just holding a model.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't use the painting handles at first, just the base and then paint. But I
Mhm.
felt like just holding it that I was gonna break it. That just like turning it
Yeah.
a certain way, I was gonna break it. And like it 100% interfered or prevented me from painting the way that I should have been. So I
Mhm.
think just even just literally holding up your model and turning it and getting used to painting it.
Yeah, certainly when I started, I would do the same. I would just hold the model itself, and sometimes things would break off and whatnot. But I think definitely find yourself a decent painting handle,
Yeah.
and it doesn't need to be anything fancy. Like I say, a wine cork will do the job with
Wine cork, we got
some
to
blue tack. Yeah, yeah, 100%. And a game changer for me right now. This one surprised me. Cling film or Saran wrap round bigger pieces, so you can handle the model even with gloves,
Oh.
and you can get into more detailed parts rather than
All right, yeah.
mounting it on a cork. Then you can't get to a certain bit because it's a huge model. So I've been doing that as well.
All right,
So
That's
nice.
really
Yeah.
it's a good one. I think when it comes to display painting as well, for tips is allow yourself the time to get in the zone and do something called deliberate practice. One of the things that I'd tried in the past was just getting a bunch of purity seals and just do them one after the other. Do one, do the
Mhm.
next one better, do the next one better, do the next one better, and you just kind of keep going. The same with your models. So if you're doing a squad of Space Marines and you're doing them one at a time, you can look back and say, right, these bits are a bit
Excellent.
messy. How can I improve upon it? And then actively make a plan to do something more refined.
Yeah.
Do I need to do it in a sub assembly? Yeah, okay, I'll do it in a sub assembly this time and see if it makes an improvement. Deliberate practice is a fantastic way to get
Yeah, that's
better at
really
something.
good.
I
Yeah.
think on that sub-assembly topic, it takes me far too long for everything now. Me and Max have had this discussion because Max, like, we've been on a stream before together, and I will paint a leg. Like in the 4 to 5 hour stream, like I'll get like base and 2 highlights done, and he's finished like 3 models for his Salamander army for Heresy. Like I'm literally just I'm
Yeah.
that in the zone of trying to do it that I'm now in that point where if I build a full model, I won't paint it. I'll be
Mm.
like, no, because I can't
Yeah.
reach this detail. I can't see that. I can't do this. I'm now at that point where like I've got an Arbite on my desk now that's got 2 legs on one painting handle, a body on another. Like, it just goes down the
Excellent.
line of different body part. Like that's what it's come to now. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, sub assemblies are great. They encourage you to do stuff, don't they?
Yeah, like backer shields, like something that when I first got in this hobby, I wouldn't have even thought twice about. I would have done like if it was like Bretonia, like them new
Mm-hmm.
questing nights before, I would have just gone like, it's a wooden shield, brown on the back, do the detail on the front. Now with sub assembly, I'll literally do it, and I'll be like, right, I'm going to do wooden lines down the back of that, even though no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Crazy.
no one is ever going to see that detail, but I know it's there.
Exactly. And that's the important thing. You know it's there. So
Yeah,
you feel
agree,
great about it.
agree.
Or even when someone can see the detail a little bit, they'll go, how did you get your brush into that bit to do that line? And you don't tell them and just say, I did it all in one assembly and I'm fantastic. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only joking. But yeah, no,
I do.
that's when people discover sub assemblies as well. Like I had no
Yeah.
idea. I didn't know it was a thing until, a couple of years ago. How are people getting into those details?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the answer. Assemblies. Genius.
It makes so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
really
It
is
really
a
does.
simple thing in it that we all just didn't do for years. It's like, oh well, there we go.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
funny too because sorry, coming from like more of like on the speed painter side of things, we actually
Mhm.
like learned to do the opposite because technically, if you do a proper slap chop, you only are painting the outsides of the models. Actually, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact, no shame at all here because I'm fully like versed into speed painting. If you pick up some of my first ever speed painted miniatures, you actually look like if you angle it right, you'll see that the fully bottom underside is still completely black. I never actually painted it, but the outside of the miniature is fully done. So I've actually trained myself to do the opposite now.
Yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
I'm okay, like if it's like shadowed in and like blacked out, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like it's cool as long as the outside matches and it's like, aesthetically pleasing. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
to me, I also something that I think I've noticed with Kim doing as somebody who's a little new is when they're holding any miniature, they hold it here. When
Mm.
realistically,
Yeah.
somebody's going to see your miniature, 2.5 feet away at best,
Yeah.
not 2 inches away. So where you're
Exactly.
seeing a little mistake or a little something, I promise you 2 feet away, nobody will ever see.
No, and
That's it.
yeah,
Exactly.
there's that huge difference in it. Like, I remember you put a story recently, Ross, about like not being able to sand something down properly because of the way they've done it. Like, for display level, that ruins it for me. Like, if I can't get something smooth, I'm fully like, nah. Like, it's not going to be display level then, and I'll move on to something else. And it really annoys me now because I've sent a Max, funnily enough. Have you got the new Death Watch set or not yet? The new Marines? Mold line galore, mate.
Oh, really? Is it that bad?
I'd love to say that they're the stunning models, which they are, don't get me wrong. But like, it's a prime one is like they've run as purity seal off the side of a chest plate and they've put the mold line straight down over the purity seal, over the detail of the purity seal, and all the way down. And I'm like, so by the time you've scraped that off with a scalpel, sand it out, you've lost your purity seal. Like, all the detail that they've molded, you've already got rid of. And I'm like,
an egregious line just there, just staring at you, like,
exactly.
it drives me mental.
You know what though?
Yeah.
I will bet you there is somebody that will go back in with liquid green stuff to reshape the purity seal perfectly.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They exist. There are people like that that will do that.
There really are. Like, there's a guy called Requiem 82, or is it 92? And he does all his Dark Angels himself. Like, it's mental. Like, he sent me a quote, I think it was back in the day, probably about a year ago. I was like, oh, I want a blade guard. You know, in fact, it was a couple of years ago, the Lion, when he got his new boys back and they were going to be special unit, but then they were just blade guard in the box and we all got heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, exactly. He custom made them. Like, he did full shield. So he did one using Mephiston, one using, like, he did all the bodies, custom made them all. And then I was like, all right, so how much are you looking at per model? Like, if you were to sell one, it's like £699.
Easy.
And I was like,
easy.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
No,
I was like, I don't really want to mortgage
the
out.
amount of
work.
time. Yeah.
Does he take limbs as payment? Like, is that an alternative?
I did think about
My
it.
kidney.
But to be fair, like, stunning. Do you know what I mean? Like, he did a full green stuff lion coming off the shield. Custom did the ears, like on the helmet with the feathers. Like, fair play. Like, do you know what I mean? At that point, you can ask what you want because you've put that time
100% fairly priced.
So you know what we need then? We need one of those miniatures, but painted by Ross, and that would be like.
I'd say I'd fund it, but I think I'd cry.
That would
double
be
the price.
Peak miniature experience right there.
That could be cool.
Not wrong. Do you know what? For that, I'll start practicing my green stuff because I think it'll cost me the amount to learn that.
Yeah. Another great sculptor as well, Baz Watkins, or he's called Amphiaris on Instagram. He's brilliant.
And some stuff, yeah.
I think he's a Scottish guy as well.
Of course, it's him that you drop.
Definitely.
So, what took you to Dark Angels then, Ross? Like, you've given a lot of love to them. You've done a lot of bits for him. You've gone from like Incursors, Deathwing, all the way through. Like, so what's drawn you there?
I like green and green and creamy colours. Yeah, no, I really like the tone that the Heavy Metal team had set for the Dark Angels, or the more sort of modern Dark Angels. And it's just a really nice, rich colour. And I don't know, there's something about it that I just really enjoy.
Caliban green is a beautiful green, to be fair. It is. Yeah.
Definitely. And I like that they're, well, I don't know too much about the lore, but I know they're meant to be like broody, sort of quite moody people, and that's me most of the time.
Definitely, just Deathwing. You're one of the little robed things that just walk.
Quite reserved, quite kind of secretive. I kind of like that idea. And with the Deathwing, I just love that cream armor. I just had to try it, and
that's fair.
A lot of people struggle or think they might struggle when it comes to that color and painting that color. I find brighter colors significantly more forgiving than darker colors when it comes to glazing or doing transitions. Like white armor for me, I dread to say it because people are going to be like, "Shut up!" Like, I think white armor's I think white armor is easy.
Right. Okay. Hell.
I will die on the hill of.
I'm in that boat with you.
Yeah, I think it's simple. When your glazes are thin enough, you won't see mistakes, and because some of them cover so poorly anyway, it's almost difficult to make a mistake. And I will also die on this hill, right? I think Korax white is the best white.
Jesus Christ.
Interesting.
That is definitely.
No, I
that's
disagree
something
there.
No, that is
Interesting.
something that
Okay, this is
I won't
gonna
even lie to you,
start.
Ross. That's something I'm going to clip out of this and just put
Yeah,
you
that's
in.
a hot take. That's a hot take.
Yep, I love it. I think
So-
genuinely, I've made it work for me. I just put some thinner into the Korax white, and it became.
I have heard this. You pour thinner directly in it.
Just a quick question. You have tried other whites though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So hang on. So on that other white, I'm going to guess someone said bold titanium white here, and you've tried it and you don't like the matness of it because it dries with the texture,
I have not used it yet.
right? So
I've
will
not
say
used
don't
full
use it.
titanium white.
It is incredible.
So it is, but I've changed this recently, Max, haven't I? I was saying this. Procreal do a satin one, mate, called heavy titanium white.
Right.
So it's the same finish as GW standard, but done by one of the extra artists, and Suix, I think. Matt Setwish, and it finishes like GW, double coverage, but because it's heavy, you have to load your brush more. So it's like double thickness, so it takes more to thin it.
Yeah.
It ends up with a beautiful finish. So if anything, I would say that if you're going to try anything, don't try normal titanium white because you get a grainy finish, matte finish. It's ultra matte. Like someone who does display,
I need to try it.
I hate it. As the finish on a standard Pro Acryl paint, I hate it. I used to love them, and now I've come back and I see how smooth you have to get your layers.
Yeah.
Paint just doesn't do it.
I think I use AK white for
That's
edge highlights, and for if I'm gonna desaturate something, I'll use the AK white.
I try and use like ice yellow as well for like just by them for like upping the warmth on a highlight a lot of the time. And white for desaturation,
definitely.
So
ice yellow will maintain the vibrancy of a color rather than desaturating it. So I would always say to people to use ice yellow if you still want to maintain good value with your color.
Yeah, so it's actually funny when it was, because sorry, just on the topic of the bold titanium, it's actually so like it's almost like a fluorescent white. It's almost kind of crazy how white it actually is. When we do some of our slap chopping and we're doing like a high level character, because like I have different like levels to my slap chop. If it's just infantry, I don't do like a 5-stage slap chop. Whereas for characters, I do. So I do like black, then I do a really dark gray, then a lighter gray, then a gray, then a white. And then I actually finish with a bold titanium white over the AK white to even make it like that's how like pop it is. But only for like really, really, really like edges and stuff like that. Because Steve is right. Like it will dry a little matty if it's on a big surface, but just for a dry brush, it'll make those corners like pop in color, especially if you're going to do like a speed paint or more of like a glazing style over it. The bold titanium can almost just make the very edge, like kind of like you did like an edge highlight with a white, but in the preliminary step, right?
Yeah. I want to try it now. I need to buy myself some.
It's
like, no, genuinely, it's worth it. I think, as I say, if you don't try the normal and you want one that you're going to have multi-use, they do that satin version of that, or they do really warm white as well, which is more like an ivory colour. Because Matt has called me Ivory Steve, because every single thing he sees me wear or paint is ivory. Like every tone that I put on a model is ivory to start with. It's like it's a base colour that I can work from. Like I spray everything ivory as well. Like it's a nice
colour
tone that lets me work out.
Instead of heavy metal Steve, it should be ivory metal Steve.
Oh, behave. Behave.
I like it.
Change the name.
So as the Hellglazer, here's what I've literally been asking Max, listen me ask all the boys in the chat this recently. When you're glazing anything, what distributes that height that you go on that glaze? Because I'm never 100% sure. Like on my wolves, I have changed my glaze depth like 3 times and tried it. And like you say, it's so hard. I found it hard on a wolf because I'm doing rust grey base coat, and then I'm getting something like the Fang and Rhinox hide, and I'm glazing that, downwards towards the darkest point. But because it's so dark on that light blue, baby blue armor, it's so unforgiving. Do you know what I mean? It's so, if you go slightly too high on one point, and then it's just, what do we go halfway and then do it round on the crown? Like, so like on that Terminator, like you go around with that perfect arch. What justifies that height?
It depends, I guess. So because for me it's not a kind of linear process. If something is too high, I'll just glaze back the other way with the base coat.
Mhm.
So I do it all the time. So whenever I'm doing my Deathwing, for example, I always end up going too dark.
Okay.
And you'd think I'd learn my lesson, but I never do. So I'll end up going back with the Screaming Skull and glazing all the way back down, and I'll just go the other way again, and I'll go back and forth until it looks right. I guess as a rule of thumb, I'll normally start about halfway and
Yeah,
then go
halfway,
down
pull
and then
down
just
the
go down.
density. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess ultimately you still want your mid-tone to be the dominant color. That's what your model's going to read as at the end of the day. So you still want to maintain that most of all between your darkest darks and your brightest brights. So I think provided that you can course correct and go back and
Yeah.
add more color in if you need to, then I guess it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you get the end result that you want and you have the know-how to get there.
So on that topic of lights, have you ever looked at doing solar watch custodes? Right.
I knew he was gonna ask.
No, God.
If I send you a single custodian, will you do it?
Just a single one.
Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
I
No,
will.
after this, I will send you one straight away. Genuinely, I will.
It'll be after Demon. In fact, it'll probably be December by the time I get to it, though.
That's fine. I will straight up send you that. That's fine. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I'll
So-
happily do that because when you've done it, I'll then attempt it. Because it's the one scheme. Like, as much as you
Steve,
said, like,
what model is it going to be though? Because is it going to be like a Trajan Valoris or like a Warden?
I think it'd have to be for his style. It'd have to be like a shield captain. You know, like the
Yeah.
Forge Road shield captain.
Yeah,
I think that would be. I have two of those
Yeah.
on my desk, brand new. So I think that'd be the best thing because it gives you
Nice.
your love of cloaks as well. But equally, there's a
Yeah.
lot of model space to work on the armor and some
Yes.
crispy little details. So yeah,
So you sending me a resin model then?
yeah.
Oh,
He's like, I take it back. I take
If
it
you
back.
want, if you don't want to do that, they do a shield captain, which is essentially like the leader of a standard custodian guard, and that's plastic. I can do that as well. It's whatever you.
Let's do a plastic because
fine.
resin is a ball ache. It really is.
That's fine. We'll go for like
Yeah.
a standard shield captain. I'll just
Let's
do
do
the
that.
same, and then yeah, go
You'll
for
get a better result as well. There you go, free commission.
just I'll learn, mate. That's all I want. It's just learning.
That's it. Yeah, definitely.
It's just a terrifying pro. I can do like black armor now. I feel like I've cracked black armor, and it's just the bony white for me. It's just such a throw off for me because it's the tonal difference. I think that's the big thing.
It's scary putting white or lighter colours when you first get into it. Because it's as easy as I say it is, it's still very, very easy to make mistakes, or easier to make mistakes than it is on other colours. Because when you're doing your deepest recess shade, that's where it becomes significantly less forgiving.
Yeah.
And harder to fix.
Yeah,
I
100%.
do. I get it. Yeah.
Literally that. Like on a standard like black model, if I go too far on a highlight, it's such a simple, just done. Like I fixed it. Like there you go.
Yeah,
As you
That's
say,
it.
like when you're glazing like an XV88 color onto Screaming Skull, it's not. Yeah.
Not as easy.
No, not at all. Not at all. Have you got anything else to ask, Max or Kim?
Just want to ask if there's any army or any units or like in a Horus Heresy auxiliary units, for example. If there's any like that you're interested in starting and looking into, or if that's even like an area that you get into when you play.
Yeah. So I tried Horus Heresy. I had the Age of Darkness box when that came out. I really liked those models. Is it the Mark 6 armor? I think it was.
the beakies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I slap chopped that entire 40 man unit, 40 40 Marines, and I did them all as the Sons of Horus as well. So if I were to do it again, it would probably be those.
Yeah. Go back to some Horus.
Steve was trying to talk me into doing Sons of Horus a couple weeks ago. He
I
wanted me to
Sons of
go
Horus.
away from the white scars and trying to get me to the traitor side.
It's the helmet.
Yeah, you should.
I think the helmets are very, very nice. Like Forge World wise, those helmets for Sons of Horus are stunning and so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like some of the
Yeah.
others, I think have been like wolves got actual wolf heads until they got redone.
They got done so dirty.
Yeah.
They were so comically, just
They were-
hilarious. And
Don't get me wrong, I'm not against a wolf head on
I
a
mean,
wolf.
they had to recall on the heads, right? They
Yeah,
had
they had a
was
full
it?
recall. And then they redesigned them back to be Corvus with a single rune, and I was like, you should have just left them at that point.
it's like Sonic the Hedgehog all over again.
Yeah, yeah,
They complained that much that to redesign the whole thing.
It was mad for me because the thing is, as much as they were comical, wolf helmet has always been a thing for wolves. Like from back in the 90s, they always had one or two in every box that you could put in, and it was like a veteran status. They had a Fenrisian wolf helmet, and then they just sort of went, "Here you go. There's 11 on a sprue and 12 on head," and it was like, "Oh yeah, cheers! All my guys are just going to be pure furries, just running around." Like, it's...
You know what I will say though about the Horus Heresy and why the Sons of Horus actually did attract me a little bit. I'm personally a fan of when legions have almost like their first company is a completely different color scheme than the
Yeah.
rest. Like I love how Abaddon and the Justarians are all black and the rest of the army is that like, you know, that like the like tealish color that comes to it.
Like
So
tealish green.
because on the battlefield, like when it's actually displayed like that, I find that those are the armies that look the most gorgeous in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It's kind of like similar with like Kim's Sheeta's Imperial Fists. So for her first legion, they're all black as well. So the yellow and black looks really cool as well, like that. And then I'm just starting up my White Scars, which also ironically have a black first company, but the white and the white and red, you mix the white to the black, so it says black and red, and then the red is their like connection color. So I'm really excited for that. So that was something that like when I also saw the Sons of Horus, I was like, okay, these are looking a little spicy.
Yeah. They're so much fun to do though. They really are. You should do one. Do one Sons of Horus model.
I'm actually so one thing we were thinking of doing is we were each thinking of grabbing just like a 20 man box or whatever, and each of us painting every one of the legions just so we can get a taste of actually painting every legion and kind of like go from there. Because I feel like a lot of the times you understand the color scheme of a legion more when you've actually painted it and you kind of understand how the colors work together. Sometimes you'll look at a color and you think it's done one way, but then when you actually do the process, it's like, oh, that's actually really cool. I never thought of like, you know, maybe blending this color with this color or glazing it here a little bit to make it look this way. So that's something that we've kind of had on the back pedal that we've wanted to jump into and try. So we will get around to the Sons of Horus for sure.
That's such a cool idea as well, though. Just doing one of every legion. I'd started a similar thing with all the loyalists, but in 40k. So I've done most of all the loyalist legions. I've still got a White Scar to finish, and then I've got a Raven Guard to do.
You can do the new track.
I was going to say as well that for the two legions that were banished, I was going to do them in like Miso Black or Black 3.0. Have a black miniature, so you're like, I don't know what it is. You're welcome to use that for your Horus Heresy, guys. If you so choose to do that, that would be quite cool to see someone actually do that.
I initially wanted to do a Miso Black army for Gene Stealer cults because I wanted to do them like as if they're in the shadow, like underground, and you're fighting them. So I wanted to only have the Miso Black with a highlight color of like a hot pink or something like that. Like
that
and just have that, like that's it. Like you don't do anything else so that it looks like you're actually fighting them in the mine. I don't want it to look like they're above ground, because that's one thing I find missing in the Gene Stealer cults is, to me, they almost look like they're too above ground, but the whole lore is they're underground.
Well, now that you said this
such
out
a cool
loud,
idea,
and you put it out in the audio way.
No, I have to do it.
You need to do it now.
Every week now, someone message him now, going forward every week. Where is this?
It's crazy though. It's funny you bring up the Miso Black because I've been watching a lot of the videos on it, and like it is actually crazy seeing a model in Miso Black in it, just even in a light box.
That's the blackest black. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like
There's
you can't
a-
even see the model, even in just sitting in a light box. You're like,
Yeah.
where's the miniature?
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's such an impressive color, or lack of, I should say. There's a video that I came across using Miso Black where they mixed like a pearl dust into the black and they sprayed a beamer with it, and then
Oh,
they drove
really?
it out, and it just looked like a shiny Galaxy car. It was fantastic.
Wow.
If you YouTube that, you will find it. There's a YouTube channel
well,
dedicated to mixing.
That would be
Do you know
such a
the one I
cool
mean?
idea. That would be such a
Yeah,
cool idea to do for Seraphon if you wanted to do like a true star host.
yeah, yeah.
That's when they got
That'd be
wheels
really
going
cool.
round.
No.
Yeah.
Have you just when
Love
you're on about
Seraphon.
the loyalists and traitors, did you guys see Dave Cowell do it a couple of years back from Australia? So he did every Primaris, so he did Heretic and Loyalist, but redesigned them all as Primaris. So he had like an Alpha Legion carrying a box that said Gene Seed and stuff like that on. Like he fully went all out. He's like, Dave's an insane painter. He gave me a lot of advice, but like, yeah.
I've not seen that. I want to.
Yeah, like I'll link
That
you it.
sounds really good.
Genuinely, like he did them all. Like he did like Thousand Suns. He did everything. Like he customized each and every model to be individual, and
that's
then
really
did every
cool.
Legion all the way through.
That's
Like it was.
incredible.
It reminded me because it was like a month ago. He put like, "Oh, I'm just going back to this," and I was like, "What?" It's like I remember that.
Yeah, we'll make sure to
Superb.
link everything down below, everything that we're mentioning and talking about.
Yeah, definitely. But yes, other than that, I think we've covered a lot of boxes with you there.
Yeah. Again, Ross,
should-
thank you so much for coming on and
Yeah,
being our
thank you
first
very much.
guest. And we do apologize for some of the technical issues we had throughout this.
No, that's fine.
Entertained.
Apparently, adding one
Yeah.
more person to the recording was enough for our internet to say, like,
I've
what
had
is this?
enough.
This is not the weekend.
Well, we were saying when you dropped off, now's the time to iron out those issues. But you know what? It made for an interesting first episode, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You
And
have me
it's
and
been a
Ross for
pleasure.
10 minutes talking, and then you guys will just
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna
Yeah,
make editing.
been
It's gonna
fun.
make the editing process that much more fun.
Exactly.
But again, thank you for coming on, and thank you for everybody who is jumping on and listening. Once again, this has been Ross. You can find him on Instagram under Hellglazer, and as well on our website under the Voxcaster tab. You can read all about his bio. There will be links to all of his social medias as well as to his Patreon and a lot of his artwork that we would love for you everybody to check out. So once again, thank you everybody, and thank you for
Thank you
tuning
very
in.
much, Ross.
Hope to see you guys again.
Thank you very much. And the Patreon goes live on the 1st of November, and that's when there'll be content there. So if you want to check it out, that's the date to
Excellent.
do it.
Yeah, we will do.
Perfect. Thank you so
very
much.
much,
We will
Ross.
make a follow-up post on that. Actually, when you do release it, we will make a post on
Cool.
on our social media as well to let everybody know who has tuned into this as well, just so when it goes live as well.
And
Thank you so much.
just for you, there is merch on the way. Max sent it this week.
Perfect.
So we'll drop
Thank
you the date when this episode will drop. And if you could do anything for that, that'd be perfect, bud.
Yeah, I'll share it all over the place.
Smashing, bud. Thank you very much. Right. Well,
Cool.
thank you again.
All right.
We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Ross.
Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Have a good rest
Cheers.
of your Saturday.
Cheers.
See you later, bud.
Cheers, you too.